some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
It's time for the Bandu traffic update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Bajan. Good morning to everybody. And yes, let's go check out what's happening on the roads. Well, as you know, Bajan, it's 259th day of our sheltering in place. Bajan, 259 days ho gaya sheltering in place. Matlab, you know, right, we have actually not have gotten on the roads. Many of us haven't gone on the roads many times, so obviously this weather also is kind of very bad, Banjan. Bahar foggy hai, it's going to be foggy all around, and here's what I'm going to do, Banjan. I'm going to share with you guys what's happening on the roads right now, because the fog and the clouds are going to be all the way until mid-afternoon, actually. I would say like noon, I suppose. Not even mid-afternoon, start of noon, I guess it's going to be that kind of situation. But right now, the fog. Thanks to the fog, Banjan, you have a lot of incidents happening on the road. So I'm not kidding, Banjan. There's a traffic accident on, let's start with the East Bay, actually. 580 ke aaspaas mein in Castro Valley, and which actually is the intersection of 238 and also 580. The right lane is affected because of an accident over there. Now let's come down towards the bridge. In fact, 92 bridge jo hai na, there actually is a fog advisory there between San Mateo and the westbound and eastbound 92. So watch out for that. There it is. Hazardous way to drive in the region, so watch out for that side, Bandujan. And Richmond also, the bridge over there, they're advising that there's this fog is pretty heavy in that region, so watch out for that. Daly City is reporting again a fog 280 eastbound at the westbound part of it. Drive very carefully there. And a disabled vehicle is on 101 southbound, south of Broadway, Burlingame, in the Burlingame area, but left lane is affected because of that. Watch out and drive carefully. Fog, you can't even see those vehicles there. You got to be more mindful of your driving, Mnuchin. Speaking of disabled vehicles, 101 southbound north of the East Poplar Avenue in San Mateo, also the right lane is blocked because of a disabled vehicle there. Watch out for that. And 101 south, let's go a little bit south of there. Embarcadero Road in Palo Alto. There's an accident there. Could be because of fog, you never know, because the visibility is very, very low. So you got to drive very, very carefully in that region. And another traffic accident on 85 southbound at the West Fremont Avenue in Sunnyvale. I don't know that the result of this thing is there's not much of a traffic impact, but definitely an accident to report over there. Watch out, drive very carefully. And 17 southbound north of the Hamilton Avenue, there's an accident over there which actually has kind of affected traffic. And speaking of things affecting traffic, there's an accident with injuries on 101 northbound ramp to Guadalupe Parkway. Left in the center lanes are blocked because of this. It's a huge backlog all the way going into, going to all the way to 680 actually. It's a huge backlog. This is northbound 101 Paper. So if at all you're planning to go from south, I don't know, whichever side or capital or whatever, you will face this particular traffic. It actually is because of a severe traffic accident which actually involves injuries as well. And so 101 Bay, let's go further south. There's actually an accident on Blossom Hill Road as well in San Jose. Now, are these all the cause of fog? I don't know, because there's also a vehicle fire on 880 northbound south of Dixon Landing, which is impacting traffic. It's more like slow moving traffic over there. CHP is on the scene already, taking pretty under control, so that's a good sign over there. But nevertheless, dekho banjan kitne sare incidents hai. Please drive very, very carefully. Yes, it is a little more stressful because the COVID situation is not helping any which way, but we get more information about that. News aapko aayega abhi, because the cases have been on the rise right now, so people are requested to be staying indoors as much as possible. Only go out if it's essential only, Banjan. So let's stick it there. It's around 259 days already. Let's stick it out in the house some more time, a couple of weeks at least. Hopes are pinned on the vaccine. We'll see what happens with the vaccine for sure. We'll have the news coming up right now for you guys. And if you want to catch up the news in detail, you can go check out the news blog mediamahima.com. Thank you, Ravi Kelly Banjan. This is the news.
After 4.2 million COVID-19 cases in November, the US is pinning its hopes on a vaccine. And the US is ready for immediate mass shipment of COVID-19 vaccines, according to a federal agency. The US coronavirus advisor, Scott Atlas, resigns from the Trump administration. US congressional hearing likely to spot Jerome Powell and Steve Mnuchin in a split over pandemic lending. Biden budget pick Neera Tanden is a lightning rod in Washington. Biden says he hopes that Supreme Court rejects Trump bid on 2020 census count. His shortlist for White House key environmental posts shows a focus on environmental justice. From hate speech to nudity, Facebook's oversight board picks its first cases. Amazon cloud head says COVID-19 accelerated cloud adoption by years. Airbnb aims for up to $35 billion in valuation in a long-awaited IPO. Zoom's margins are now dented by booming free user base and increasing cloud costs. Center talks with protesting farmers are still inconclusive, according to reports from India, and they're going to be continuing on Thursday. COVID-19 patients are treated as untouchables once posters are pasted on their homes, says the Supreme Court. And in an update about the health of actor Rahul Roy, he has been transferred out of the ICU, and doctors have begun his speech and physical therapy. Let's go into COVID-19 and give you an update as to what's going on with regard to that. Everyone in the US wants a COVID-19 vaccine, and they will be able to get one by June, according to an official with the White House Vaccine Initiative, Operation Warp Speed. Before that happens, a vaccine needs to be authorized, and President Trump is asking questions about why the FDA hasn't given an emergency use authorization to Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine yet. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows is supposed to meet with the FDA Commissioner today to discuss. More places are locking down as experts fear coronavirus case numbers will continue to rise during the holidays. Los Angeles, the biggest county in the United States, is now under a mandatory stay-at-home order. And in the final month of the year, as we enter today, with expectations that promising vaccine candidates will soon be approved to halt the rapidly spreading coronavirus, after 4.2 million new cases were reported in November. The new COVID-19 cases were more than double the previous monthly record set in October, as large numbers of Americans still refuse to wear masks and continue to gather in holiday crowds against the recommendation of experts.
It's already December 1st, but then November 30th, the California cases were 17,969. That's a huge number. It's the highest number of cases ever since it started off.
Right.
So imagine, please wear masks in the public, and wash your hands, stay healthy.
Also, Banijan, with regard to the vaccines, the U.S. Transportation Department said Tuesday that it has made preparations to enable the immediate mass shipment of COVID-19 vaccines and complete all necessary regulatory measures. The department said U.S. agencies have been coordinating with private sector companies that will carry vaccines from manufacturing facilities to distribution centers and inoculation points. So that's good news there. But at the same time, Dr. Scott Atlas, who was special advisor on the coronavirus task force to President Donald Trump, has resigned, a White House official said on Monday, after a controversial 4 months during which he clashed repeatedly with other members of the coronavirus task force. Voters' unhappiness with Trump's response to the global pandemic that has killed hundreds of thousands of people helped propel his challenger, Democrat Joe Biden, to victory in the November 3rd election. I'm writing to resign from my position as special advisor to the President of the United States, Atlas said in a letter dated December 1st to Trump that he posted on Twitter. Public health experts, including Anthony Fauci, have sharply criticized Atlas, a neuroradiologist, for providing Trump with misleading or incorrect information on the virus pandemic. In the meanwhile, on the pandemic aid, Bandhujan, top U.S. economic officials on Tuesday urged Congress to provide more help for small businesses amid a surging pandemic and the concern that relief from a vaccine may not arrive in time to keep them from failing. These businesses cannot wait 2 or 3 months, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said during a hearing before the Senate Banking Committee, urging lawmakers to repurpose funds that he is clawing back from the Federal Reserve loan programs to put perhaps $300 billion into grants for struggling businesses. Mnuchin's decision to shut those emergency programs at the end of this month was the focus of partisan bickering at the hearing, with Republicans agreeing that other forms of help are more appropriate now that a vaccine is in view, and Democrats arguing that the Fed program should be left in place until the economic recovery is more complete. In the meanwhile, President-elect Joe Biden's outspoken nominee for his pick for the budget management, Neera Tanden, she's going to be leading the Office of Management and Budget, faces a challenge winning her Senate confirmation after a Washington career in which she has crossed powerful figures on both the right and the left. Biden unveiled many of his top economic nominees on Monday, including Treasury Secretary nominee Janet Yellen. Tanden, who is 50, chief executive of the left-leaning Center for American Progress think tank, a longtime aide to former Secretary of State and 2016 Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, would be the first woman of color to lead the OMB, which acts as the gatekeeper for the $4 trillion federal budget. She is being called a partisan hack, a liberal hack. Can you believe that? Anyway, Biden says he hopes also that the Supreme Court is going to be rejecting Trump's bid on the 2020 census count. President-elect Joe Biden said that he hopes that the Supreme Court would reject the plan by Donald Trump and his administration to exclude immigrants living illegally in the United States from population counts used to allocate congressional districts to states. We can't keep rewriting history, scrambling norms, and ignoring the Constitution and precedents we abide by. It is my hope that the Supreme Court does the right thing, and the rule would be that everyone in America be counted, Biden said in a statement. Also, he is vetting 3 environmental justice leaders to head up the White House agency that will take the lead in coordinating efforts to safeguard communities disproportionately affected by pollution, according to sources familiar with the process. And who are the 3 people he's considering? Mustafa Santiago Ali, Cecilia Martinez, and Brenda Mallory to lead the CEQ, according to 3 sources familiar with the process. One glaring post that he has not identified somebody for, Altubaba. You know who?
Yeah.
For Secretary of Defense, Biden has still not announced. There is the 3 people again in contention for that position.
Yeah, I don't want to take part of that.
Yeah, you will never make a good Secretary of Defense, Altubaba.
Why?
Because you are a pacifist.
What is a pacifist?
Oh, never mind. I will
Use too
explain
much of
that another day.
Shashi Tharoor language on the show right now.
No Shashi Tharoor language. But let's just tell you, Badajan, that in news from India, right, farmers' agitation will continue as the talks between central government and representatives of farm unions on Tuesday ended inconclusively with a mere promise to meet again on a 4th round of discussions on Thursday. Farmer leaders insisted that they won't suspend their ongoing protests till they get some firm assurance on repealing the newly enacted farm laws. Farmers' unions from Punjab, meanwhile, are expected to inform the Agricultural Ministry specific issues related to farm reform laws on Wednesday, which the government will discuss during the next meeting on Thursday and try to resolve it with mutual consent. And the Supreme Court in India said on Thursday that once signage or posters are pasted outside the homes of COVID-19 patients, people will be treated as untouchables, reflecting a different ground reality. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare said, however, that its guidelines do not contain any instructions or guidance regarding affixing these posters or other signage outside the residences of those who are found positive, COVID positive. So you can get more information about all of this and also about the recovery of Rahul Roy, Indian actor who suffered a brain stroke. You can get information on all of this, Badajan, on MediaMahima.com. Again, it's Tuesday, right? 259th day of sheltering in place. It's okay. We can shelter a few more days in place. But Jan, please do stay safe, stay happy. Today is Giving Tuesday. One way of staying happy is to give from your heart. Give to this wonderful organization called Pragnya. Please go to Facebook. You will see our fundraisers on Facebook. Please do go donate. We ask you because the people that we serve at Pragnya cannot ask. Not because they don't want to, but because they don't have a voice to ask you. So please do go ahead and give as much as you can to the family of Pragnya for neurodiversity. That's all we have for you on this morning's Good Morning Babe. We'll be back tonight, live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Till then, have yourselves a terrific Tuesday.
सृष्टि के जन्म से भी पिया हो जिस तरह मेरे मन में शंकरा तू बसा है उस तरह मुझे भरम था जो है मेरा था कभी नहीं मेरा अर्थ क्या निरर्थ क्या जो भी है सभी तेरा तेरे साथ